Time now for All Things Gators, all things orange and blue. Dan Hicken and Frank Frangie. What's up, Hick?
I'm worked up.
I know. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, the best in the business. We appreciate you guys. se-ortho.com for all your orthopedic needs in Jacksonville, Florida. So we can start with basketball,
Yes.
obviously. And like, I'm just worked up about the Mike White stuff. And we'll go back and forth.
Mike White.
Yeah, I mean,
every missed rebound, Mike White.
Yeah,
Mike White,
it's just
Mike White.
amazing.
Even other podcasts.
And it's
Mike White.
It's just a group of guys that, by the way, it's falling on deaf ears. I'm telling you, he ain't getting fired.
No.
I mean, he's 16-10, and he's having an awful year.
Yeah.
And the sky is falling for the Gator fans who don't give a crap about basketball. And I don't know. I mean, did you think I can tell you what's going to happen with this team. They were not going to beat all these teams they're supposed to beat. We knew that. They barely beat Missouri. Georgia was in a 3-point game with them. Guess what, Frank? They're probably going to lose at Vandy or at Georgia. They've got to find a way to beat Auburn or Arkansas or both. And I don't know that they will. I'm not confident.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that either.
Yeah.
I'm with you. A bunch of stuff on this team. Number one, that was an inexcusable loss.
Yeah.
That loss was a really bad loss.
It's a bad loss.
They had 6 points with 6.5 to play in the first. They played poorly. It wasn't an effort thing.
No.
They're not.
It was 43-31 A&M.
Right.
And those dunderheads fought their way back and took a lead with a minute 40 to go. They're up 4.
And they should have won the game. By now the critical errors.
Yes.
Myron Jones
fouling on a 3.
Well, he falls down on the rebound.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and of all the things you put on Mike White, I'll get to Mike White in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But of all the things you put on Mike White, you can't put Flan Fleming, who's in his 5th year of college basketball and has probably played more minutes than anybody in the country. He probably plays as many minutes as anyone in the country, career minutes. He's got to know better than that.
Right.
He's got to know you can't. You run at him. If you want to close him out, fine, but get out of the way.
Frank, you're playing Texas A&M. You're better off not even running at him. Just take the shot. I don't think you're going to make it.
Right.
I'll risk it here.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is A&M's not very good. So he made a horrible decision, and they lost the game. So, but that's an inexcusable loss. And by the way, I'm like you, Dan. What seriously drives me crazy, you can't even talk about the games anymore.
Oh, my God.
Without it getting hijacked by Mike White.
Yeah.
Mike White. Hey, how you doing today? Mike White. Hey, Mike White. I mean, you can't even talk about dribbles, rebounds, closeouts because it comes up Mike White. And I've never seen anything quite like it. Now, for a guy that's won. Now, having said all that, I'll probably disagree with you a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
You don't fire Mike White. They're not going to fire Mike White.
Yeah.
But he's got to do something to where there's more of an offensive flow. There's more. He's not done. It's not a very good team. He's not done a great job with this team. He had Castleton out for a while. This team didn't get very good offensively. Maybe Myron Jones' finger was hurt and that affected him some.
Yeah.
But the team's not very good, and they've got to start showing some growth. I'll go back to Billy. Billy, and you know this story. As great a coach as Billy Donovan was, they weren't where he wanted them to be defensively. There was a leadership thing. There was a communication thing. So he went and hired Larry Shyatt, who is a veteran guy. Had been the head coach at Wyoming, been at Clemson, been all around. And it changed them. They grew up defensively. They grew up from a communication standpoint. And I don't know enough about basketball, Dan, to know if it's as easy as go hire the assistant coach.
Sure.
I know that.
Sure.
But they're not good offensively. They're clunky.
Yes.
They don't know when to take a shot. Appleby passes up open shots. Other guys, they're almost overcoached. It's hard. The best teams, they let it fly. They're free and easy. They move the ball. And Florida doesn't seem to be that. And that does seem to be a little bit of a pattern with him. And I think if I'm being fair, but that doesn't mean you fire the coach.
Yeah.
That means the coach has to improve that.
Yeah.
And so, but that was a hard one to watch the other night.
It's terrible. They're all hard, but they're no good. That's the other. I mean, they're no good.
They have a very good team.
They're a terrible team. They get open looks. They can't make them.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, as bad as you played, you can get the W if you hit a 10-foot jump shot that you had. Now, why you let it run down to the end, I have no idea.
Right.
But
very bad. And that's the point. Offensively, it never is very pretty.
Right.
Offensively.
But you know what else it wasn't pretty? When Big Shot Irv was dribbling at the top of the key when the greatest coach in Gator history drew up, we're going to let Big Shot Irv fire one up from 30.
Right. Or even Boynton. I was at the game in New Orleans, I think it was, where Boynton fired up a 3 when they only needed a 2.
Yeah.
And I remember Billy saying after the game, gosh, I wish he'd have driven it. But the point is, but I'm not saying Mike White's Billy Donovan.
Right.
What the point is, there's enough good there that even if you wind up firing Mike White, Gator fan, we got to get to a point in Gator basketball where it's not Mike White. I mean, look.
I guess it's just going to be this way. I don't think it's, and I guess it's because he followed Billy. But I just it blows my mind, and I will argue this till I'm blue in the face. And I'm in the minority. I get it.
Yeah.
But I will continue to challenge Gator basketball fan who doesn't give a rat's ass about Gator basketball, but they say they're fans. Yeah. They don't go to the games. They don't support the team. They don't make financial donations. They don't. I mean, you sit and watch on TV and you complain about them, and you expect them. Well, he's got to recruit better. What's he recruiting them to, Frank?
Yeah.
Tell me the kids in Jacksonville. Where did Grayson Allen go play college basketball? Who's the best kid we've seen come out here in the last decade?
Duke.
Did he go to Florida?
Right. And so, no, I'm with you. And so
we go back to Vince Carter and Lon Kruger. We've told that story a million times.
Well, and I've said this. And look, let me give you the reality of SEC basketball. You want the reality of SEC
basketball? Give it to me, baby.
There's one good program. There's one elite program.
Kentucky.
And there's 13 others that have their moments. Now, because Billy Donovan was such a good coach, Florida's moment got extended.
And he got Florida to have a moment, which Florida never had a moment before Billy Donovan. Ever.
Right. Because Lon Kruger had 1 year when he went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
But because of that run, all of a sudden you look up, and I got a lot of thoughts on this. Number one, you look up, and all of a sudden Florida has been to 9 Elite Eights and 5 Final Fours.
Yeah.
So people now think that's the model.
Yeah.
Well, it's really not, and it'd be great. No, I understand a fan that says, well, why can't I want that again?
You can.
You can want that again.
We all do.
Yeah, why can't I want that? It's proven it can happen.
Yeah.
Why can't I want it again? And so I agree with Finn. I also agree Mike White needs to make some changes on how he coaches offensively.
It's fine.
I do believe that. So but I think the point you're making, which I agree with, that doesn't mean go fire him.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't think you go fire him even if you're selling out every game.
Yeah.
Your point.
I just don't have
you think there's apathy.
You can want it, but you have to be realistic. And I don't know what the expectation level is. The guy's gone to the tournament every year
and won a game
and gotten
the
top 32. How many Division I college basketball teams are there in the country? 350?
Yeah.
300 and something? Well, he's in the top 10%.
Right.
That's about pretty damn good for Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's Florida, guys.
But I'm telling you, no one's going to agree with you on that. And I kind of do.
Yeah.
But no, everyone, fans.
I know.
In today's social media fan.
That's
but I'm telling you, it would get to where games would end. I don't tweet all during the game. I tweet like at halftime, tweet at the end of the game. Game ends.
Yeah.
I go, when I tweet this, I'm going to say, well, they didn't box out on the rebound, whatever game, or they missed a shot, or they shouldn't have fouled a 3-point shooter, or it's going to be hard to get in the tournament now. The first 25 responses, Mike White.
I get the retweet of I saved all your hey, Mike White haters, I saved all your tweets when they beat FSU. Well, every time they lose, but when they won 4 or 5 in a row, crickets.
Yeah. So
crickets.
So, but I do think something's got to change within the program.
Okay, but what is your expectation of the program? Frank?
Well, my expectation. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm Dan. I want to be like the fan.
Yeah.
I want to see them elite.
Yeah.
I want them to be elite because I think they're an elite baseball program.
Okay.
They should be an elite football program.
Okay, but they're not.
But they should be. But you asked my expectations.
Yes.
My expectations are that they should be in the playoff every year in football. Yeah. That baseball should go to Omaha every year.
Yep.
And that I know they're good in everything else.
Okay.
They're good in softball and track and tennis.
Yeah.
So I want to believe they can get there in basketball too.
Okay.
Now, to have the reason
they are, it's only on the women's side.
Yeah. But your point is right. Is there what ticks you off? And I'm reading your face. And Dan, Dan's all. I guess it's all on camera.
You missed it before.
He's got the veins. Before we went on, it was fantastic stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, because I think you might have even been responding to another podcast. I can't really say that for sure, but I think that may be where
podcasts, radio shows. That pisses me off when the media says things and they're factually wrong.
Yeah, so.
You can listen. Honestly, again, I say this: if Florida decides to get rid of Mike White, so be it.
Yeah,
that's fine. But you got just the level of. I mean, it's college sports have now become we're all in it together, and we can help.
Yeah.
So help.
Yeah. And by the way,
buy your season tickets.
Yeah.
Go to the games. Give them away.
Yeah. I'm an alumnus, and I probably haven't donated very much either. Okay.
Right.
So, but the point,
get off the wallet, French. You're costing us a 5-star from Palatka.
But But how do they get better?
Yeah.
What is the answer?
Okay, well, he's got to recruit better. He's got a good class coming in.
It looks like a good class
It's
coming
a top
in.
20 class. I mean, do you expect more than that?
Yeah, they need. I wish they would play free.
Somebody asked me this, Frank. Would Bradley Beal go to Florida today? Well, Mike White got a guy named Scotty Lewis,
right,
who was like the 7th ranked player in the country.
Right.
So yes, he would. But they go because of Billy and they go because of Mike. They don't go because of the.
I asked someone very close to Mike White, why is it like this? And this is somebody that knows him, has known him for a long time, and essentially said, great coach, great person. If there's a criticism this person would have of Mike White, it is everything's plays.
Yeah.
And you become robotic because you want to make sure you're where you're supposed to be on the play.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to run a motion offense and let them free for them.
Yeah.
And if they shoot it too quick, they shoot it too quick. I want my good shooters taking some bad shots.
Yeah.
Because even though and so I think what happens now, Myron Jones obviously has a green light, which is good.
Yeah.
But I think some coaches overcoach.
Okay.
Run a play.
Is Billy Donovan the greatest coach in University of Florida history?
Well, that is to me.
Yeah.
The greatest coach in University of Florida history is Steve Spurrier.
Okay.
Because with the expectations, the previous failures, the gigantic.
That's fair.
Is great.
So you're going to put him at 2 then?
I'd put him 2.
All right. What was Billy's nickname for the first 6-7 years of his? Billy One and Donovan.
Oh, that's right. Oh, absolutely.
Billy One and Donovan.
Yeah.
Go to the first weekend, couldn't get out of it.
Yeah,
wouldn't even win a game. Right?
Oh, no question. Yeah, and toward the end, even after the championships, when they struggled for the next with the Roberson Walsh years, I heard whispers from some people too.
For fans, and I get this, as you have success, and Florida had the early Final Four run with Billy.
Yeah.
So they expected it all. It's not happening. I mean, I don't know. For me personally, if Florida goes to the tournament, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And they're having a bad year.
And I'm not. And I'm.
I hear you.
I'd be disappointed if they ever get to where they don't go to the tournament every year.
Yeah.
But I want a little more than that.
Yeah.
I want.
Well, he's giving you a little more.
Yeah.
He's giving you a win every year.
I don't want.
And he gave you an Elite 8.
Yeah. I don't want them to fire him. But I want him to get better.
Okay.
I want him to do better than he's done. So
okay.
I think I'd feel the same way if Kevin O'Sullivan started. Was one and done in the NCAA tournament.
He had a terrible year last year, and they were already,
right.
I mean, 19-1 to end the season against South Alabama, if I remember correctly.
Correct. But he's got a ring. A ring can quiet a lot of that. That big ring can quiet a lot of it. And you have confidence, like I do, that they'll be in Omaha this year. Okay?
Yeah.
Without even knowing the details, you think they're going to Omaha this year.
I think that absolutely.
So, but final thought on Mike White or two is. That game was such a devastating loss. I said if they'd have won that game, 17-9, 7-6 in the league, 3 home games coming up, I'd have felt that was the worst loss of the year to me. It was the worst loss of the year. No, I'm not firing the coach.
No, I know.
But I'm telling you, but to me, as a fan, that was the dagger. That was the one. Just get that one.
Yeah.
If they'd have gotten that one, then they're well positioned. Now, but they're not going to the tournament. I'm pretty convinced now that was it.
I kind of think so too. I think, and so I think the drum beat's only going to get worse, and that's fine. Whatever. But I honestly, for me, I think they end up, 18-14 or whatever amount of, I don't see much.
See, where you are with Mike White is similar to where I was with Zook. Now the expectations are different.
Maybe that's fair.
My point with Zook was
maybe that's fair.
He got in there after Spurrier. He's going 8-4.
He always comes back to Zook.
Yeah, he does. He's going 8-4. He's going 8-4 every year.
Yeah.
He's going to New Year's Day bowls every year. He's fired in 2.5 years. Now you brought in a guy that won a bunch of titles, so maybe it was the right move. But I mean, I've always been honest about that.
But Florida football allowed different,
question.
Right?
100%.
Like people say, well, recruiting wise, Billy Napier's getting into Arch Manning's house,
right?
Because it's the University of Florida. That's part of it. Now, now if Dan Mullen were there, he wouldn't be. But Billy Napier's getting in there.
Yeah, let's transition since you're all worked up about basketball.
Okay.
What about Arch Manning? Can you make that happen?
I don't think so.
I want you to make that happen. Are you in charge? Do you have a connection?
We're a little late to the party.
Do you know Arch?
Huh?
Do you know Cooper? They don't say Cooper; it's Cooper.
Cooper.
I don't know that. Do you know Cooper?
I'd
like you to make. Being the recruiting beat reporter for the podcast,
I will
like
say
you to
this:
make that happen.
It is interesting. Normally, if you're a 2023 and you can go anywhere you want, you're about at this point where you're starting to pare it down, not open it up. So maybe there are a few things at each of the schools that didn't exactly maybe he just feels like this isn't it. I'm not sure why, but it's not
Yeah.
it. And maybe if he comes to Gainesville, and apparently he's going to, that could be it. It would be great theater if a Manning came to Florida.
Okay, can I make my case for Florida?
Yeah.
Because I want to see Arch running the naked boot in the swamp. Here's my case. Just stay with me.
Okay.
The Mannings went to Tennessee and Ole Miss because of David Cutcliffe, who's a regular guy, down to earth, no BS, no car salesman, just a regular dude.
Okay.
I think Billy Napier is like David Cutcliffe in terms of his personality.
Okay.
So we're getting him.
I like. So we're getting him.
I'm predicting him.
It's happening.
I'm predicting a championship.
Arch Manning.
Okay. Now, actually, we're.
Hey, Arch, this is Uncle Peyton.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead, Unc. How you doing, man? Great. Listen, I heard you were visiting Gainesville.
Right.
Yeah, that can't happen.
Yeah. Look, we all know Arch Manning's probably not going
now,
to Gainesville.
Eli, Uncle Eli might say, hey, go to Gainesville. I whooped him twice.
That's right.
So
exactly right.
it evens out,
That's right. He has 2 more wins over Florida than Peyton, doesn't he?
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Yes. Uncle Eli beat him twice.
I still remember Peyton Manning at the SEC Media Days. His last year there, and he's fun. He was funny even then.
Yeah.
He was a Tennessee quarterback going into his senior year, stayed for 4 years. And I asked him, I said, we're talking, this guy goes around. I'm from here. I'm from Mississippi. I'm from New Orleans. I said, Peyton, I'm from Florida. I said, they don't love you too much down there. He goes, why wouldn't they love me? He said, I haven't beaten them in 3 years. They ought to love me. I ought to be their favorite guy. He was funny then.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, listen, again, good for Billy Napier, though. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
This guy is incredible.
And
again,
you're right. He's not probably not getting Arch Manning, but he is going to start getting some of those 5-stars, which they haven't gotten.
I love the plan. I don't know what the plan is called. Like Jeter called the plan in Miami Wolverine.
Okay.
Wolverine hasn't worked.
No.
But I mean, Napier's got it. Napier, I'm telling you.
Wolverine made the program.
Napier has like a binder, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
And he opens it up and says the plan, and every little detail is in there.
Identity right now is the identity phase.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we're going to have 8 phases a year. I mean, Parents Weekend. I mean, all these, I mean, it's incredible how attention to detail this guy is.
Here's one thing we have clearly know about Napier. As far as building what you just said, building the corporation.
Right.
Building the right culture, building the right, that's all going to be as good as anybody anywhere.
Yes.
There's no.
Because he's been planning it from like when he realized I'm going to be a head coach somewhere.
It's clear he knows how to build it. And he's at the right place.
Right.
And the timing's right because they finally realize they need the facilities everybody else has and they have to build those. And so he's building that while
they have a thirst for wanting to do it that way. So
they,
whatever you need, tell me. And
resources, facilities, him bringing the culture, all that matches up.
Yeah.
What we don't know
I know.
is on 3rd and 4 will he call the right play?
Oh, no.
No, we don't know. We don't. I mean, hopefully he will.
On Monday after the Utah game, are you going to be one of those bitterly disappointed guys?
No, I'm not.
Are you going to give me a little time to build this program?
Long as they win by 3 or 4 touchdowns, I will be fine. Okay. Dan says it's okay if they lose to Utah.
No, I didn't say that.
I'm saying 24-21 win isn't good enough for me. Okay. So, okay. I'm going to need corner routes and lead draws and post. I'm kidding. I agree with you. It's going to take some time. But I'm saying the one thing we don't know is we haven't watched him as a coach very much.
No. I don't know. I haven't watched him at all.
I've said this at all.
Yeah.
I'd rather have him than anybody else.
Yes.
But I'd rather have him than Mike Leach. Okay. But if Mike Leach came in there, I had a pretty good idea what the offense is going to look like.
Yeah.
If Lane Kiffin had come in there, I have a pretty good idea what the offense is. I'd rather have this guy because I think he's better at building it than either one of those guys. But we don't know what it's going to look like offensively or defensively because unlike Leach and Kiffin, we haven't watched his teams.
Right.
So there's a lot of unknown, and that's kind of okay.
Yeah.
I do think you sense they're going to run it and they're going to be that team, but that's the part about Billy Napier we don't know yet.
I'm excited. I can't wait. And then baseball's kicking off this weekend. Softball's off to a nice 6-0 start, so that's good. Gymnastics getting big crowds.
You a baseball fan?
Yes, I am.
How many of the starters could you name right now? Florida starters of the 9. Of the 9, they'll probably start. What do you got for me?
All right, I got Thompson and Fabian.
That's right field and center field.
I've got another Fabian probably at 3rd.
Look at you. You know what? You surprised me. I didn't think you had that. Little Fabian probably
got
Fabian
Rivera at short, Halter at 2nd.
Look at you.
I would not, dude, Armstrong at 1st.
I did not think you could go there. You pretty much got the whole thing.
What about the catcher?
Matt Gassetti?
Gassetti.
Would you have known that?
I think I might have said Gassett, but I mean,
give me a DH.
I don't know.
Probably Kalalau. He's still there.
Kalalau.
He's still there.
Kalalau.
Okay, and
He's
probably
still there. He's got a little clutch in
and
him.
probably Wyatt Langford and left. But you were pretty.
Wyatt
But you know
Langford
what
and
though?
left.
You did way better than I thought you'd do.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a B minus. Actually, a B plus. A B plus.
Thank you.
A B plus.
I was going to argue that B minus.
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
I badly wanted to give you a C. So
you would have had me. Thought you had me as we opened.
Nice job, by the way. Nice job, Liberty, who's pretty good.
Liberty. We got to get them.
And Hunter Barco on.
Do you think Liberty came down with the baseball and basketball, and they just all came down together? So
because they're all in Jacksonville. No, I don't.
I don't either.
Because they have a budget about the size of Alabama.
Liberty's a little bigger.
Yeah, they are. So I don't know who the Saturday Sunday starters will be.
Yeah,
I do know Hunter Barco's the Friday starter.
Yeah,
and he's important.
Yeah,
because if they want to be,
is Sproat one of the starters or not?
Brandon Sproat throws very hard.
Yeah,
he's in the mix.
Okay,
and maybe they've decided.
Maybe they're gonna or move him around and get a feel for who.
Yeah, they got a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
but
they need a pitch. Look, it's. I mean, SEC baseball, man. Good luck.
It's impossible.
It's
impossible. I mean,
it is tough.
It is so good.
Yeah.
Because there's 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah.
It's not like there's 3 or 4 good.
I was looking back at last year, like they won. Remember when they went to the tournament? I think they won like 3, and then they lost, and then they came here and lost to South Florida and South Alabama.
Right. But they were done at the end. And there was some dysfunction.
Yeah, there was. We know.
Within but hopefully it's a new year.
Yeah.
We're excited about it. And are you still mad? Are you done? Did
no,
this help you at all? Was this cathartic?
Yeah, it was
for you
a little bit therapeutic.
Okay, I
appreciate it.
That's All Things Gators, all things orange and blue. Dan
Go Gators!
Frank Frangie.
Thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, se-ortho.com. Frank, you have a good week.
You too, Hick.
All right.